NIO stock analysis. Okay, guys, so we're going to talk about NIO stock. So NIO just reported Q3 2020 earnings yesterday, so I had a chance to look over the report. And from the first look, it's some excellent numbers. NIO delivered a record amount of vehicles, and it looks like they're well on their way to becoming a $100 plus stock. Before I get into the video, guys, please smash the thumbs up button. It really helps. So to give you guys a quick overview of NIO stock, as you're probably familiar, NIO is a Chinese electric car company, and they produce 3 different models, and they are considered perhaps maybe the Tesla of China. And their founder and CEO, William Li, he's a really smart guy. He's a billionaire. So not only are you getting a decent Chinese car company that's increasing the amount of orders, but this is a founder-led company, and if you guys didn't know, founder-led companies tend to perform better than kind of people that are just randomly picked as CEO. So let's get right into the report, guys, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some technical analysis, and then we're going to wrap things up with a price target. So you can find this information on NIO's website. Just go to ir.nio.com. And I like reading the release because while a lot of articles tend to talk good things about it, I think you get a lot of insights straight from the release. So let's get right into it. So the first thing that jumped out to me was the total quarterly revenue, 666.6 million, and over 12,000 deliveries of the ES8, the ES6, and the EC6, guys. So excellent numbers here. And if we take a look here over the quarter, NIO really ramped things up ever since, the whole pandemic situation. Things have been increasing, and they're projecting that they're going to have even more deliveries in Q4. And so far, in trading, the market really hasn't taken too much to these numbers. But because NIO stock had already been up so much, if you guys have been following my channel for a while, I'm currently sitting at just under 10,000 subscribers. But way back when I had much fewer subscribers, I talked about NIO stock. I talked about it when it was $5 or $6. So for you guys that have been following my channel for quite some time, you know how bullish I was on NIO. For the fact is that this whole electric car revolution is the real deal, guys. It can be kind of hard to conceptualize, but it's the reality, and we're seeing this through revenue. People are buying these cars like crazy. So I'll give you guys a fundamental analysis, then we'll get into the text. So as you can see here, everything is just improved, basically. Record deliveries, improved margins, record revenue. NIO is operating at a loss, but that's pretty standard for these kind of newer electric car companies until they kind of, they really start delivering a lot of vehicles. I mean, look at Tesla. It took Tesla so many years to become profitable. So I'm expecting similar things from NIO, but right now we want to see that revenue continue to increase. So as you can see here, we take a look at some of the numbers. Just awesome, numbers all around. If we take a look at the results here, just great numbers, guys. Obviously, we would like to see probably even more deliveries, because if you compare, NIO to Tesla, Tesla does around 500,000 deliveries a year. So to do some quick math, that accounts to about 125,000 cars per quarter, and NIO is doing less than 10% of that. So just realize here that even though the NIO has done really well and it's sitting at like a $60 billion plus market cap, it has a long way to go to catch the Tesla in terms of the deliveries. So as we can see here, the total deliveries as of October, the Chinese car market is far more, I would say, it's growing much faster, but Tesla was kind of really a pioneer. They really started delivering vehicles years ago. So I'm expecting this. But the thing about China is China has 3 to 4 times the population of North America. Of the United States. China is 3 to 4 times. And if you take in all of North America, China has at least 2 to 3 times the population. So even though the growth is kind of slower there, even though there's lots of competitors like Li Auto, Tesla, of course, Xiaoping, there's plenty for everyone to eat. So, obviously China has billions of people, and they're going to sell a lot of cars. And the Chinese government is already placing mandates to try to turn the country basically all electric within the next 10, 15 to 20 years. So, NIO is going to do very well. So as we can see here, they reported the offering was around $17. So the stock is way above that. Now we could see NIO place another offering, but maybe the chances of that aren't as high, because I was taking a look at their balance sheet and they're holding quite a bit of cash. So if you see here, NIO is holding about $3.3 billion in cash. So that's a substantial amount, I would say. Hopefully they don't have to dilute anymore, but since the stock has gone up so much, I wouldn't be surprised if there was another offering. So let's take a look at some of the CEO and CFO comments as they achieved quarterly deliveries of 12,206, and it says followed by the best ever monthly deliveries of over 5,000 vehicles in October. So we expect to deliver 16,000 to 17,000 vehicles in the coming fourth quarter. So like I said, guys, if you're new to this stock or you've been following for a while, these stocks, because there's no profits right now, these stocks are going to trade on deliveries. So the more deliveries the stock has or the company has, the higher the stock price is going to go. It's gonna follow like that. So you don't want to like look at the stock price and think like, oh, can I get in lower? You want to say, look, the deliveries are going up, so that means that revenue is going up, and when revenue is the catalyst, then the stock price follows. So that's the way to look at these companies. Revenue increase, stock price increase, in that order. So just that kind of give you guys a heads up where you guys are kind of looking to see whether this is a good point to get into. So now we're going to talk, we talked about the fundamentals of the company. Now let's get into that technical analysis. Okay, so here I am on TradingView. TradingView is my favorite platform for technical analysis, although Robinhood has some options, but let's use TradingView. So as you can see here, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my favorite indicator, and I use the 20-day moving. So looking at the 20-day moving average, we can see that NIO is trading way above it, and usually I use two different indicators. So if the stock is above the 20-day moving average, that's a very bullish signal. If the stock crosses below the 20-day moving average, that's a bearish signal. So basically, taking a look at this technical chart, NIO has a lot more upside. Let's do some quick comparisons here. So, recently Tesla was included in S&P 500. Tesla's increasing a lot. A lot of people bought up the stock, and a lot of institutional investment managers are going to have to buy the stock as well. So now we're basically looking at NIO is basically 1/10 of the price of Tesla. So yes, that does kind of make sense, but because the deliveries are basically 1/10. So I would say, look, if you're looking for the most possible upside, you probably want to look towards Chinese companies, just because these companies are lagging a bit behind. But there are some risks, and I don't think a lot of people are talking about the risks, because I really want to mention this, because I saw a lot of people lose money on Luckin Coffee. I ended up buying Luckin Coffee at like $13, and when it went up to $25, I ended up selling it, simply because there's been a long history about Chinese companies fabricating earnings. So now, thinking about this report, if we go back to the top, we can see that it's unaudited. So obviously, these are some great numbers, but they haven't really been 100% verified. And there's been a lot of problems in the past with Chinese companies lying about revenue and things like that to boost stock prices. So there is some risk here, and I have to talk about this risk, guys, because NIO has been like the most traded stock in terms of volume for so long. It's doing hundreds and hundreds of millions of shares, as you can see here. I mean, look at this volume. It's insane, 500 million shares, 300 million shares. So a lot of people are taking these numbers at surface value and just assuming they're audited, but they're not. So just realize that I would not go all in on NIO stock. I think NIO stock is still a strong buy. I thought it was a strong buy when I recommended on my channel at first at $6. I still think it's a strong buy, but you definitely don't want to go all in on it. And that's what I'm kind of, I'm reading a lot of forums and stuff like that, and some people are saying they have 70%, 100% of their money in NIO. That seems to me a crazy risk, guys. So just remember, there has been a history, as we saw with Luckin Coffee. If these numbers come out fabricated or something like that, you could see a massive drop in stock price. So I would say, obviously, NIO is a strong stock to hold in your portfolio, but don't put all of your money into it. Usually, me personally, I never put more than 10 to 20% of my money in one stock. I know that's probably limiting my upside, but it's limiting my downside as well. I like sleeping good at night. And guys, the goal for me to help you guys, if you guys aren't already millionaires, my goal is to help you become millionaires in the stock market. And the best way to get there is to build a strong portfolio full of companies that have rising earnings in the future, and then your portfolio value will rise as those revenue and earnings go up. But if you put too much money in one stock and something goes wrong, you can wipe out all of your games. So I think that's just really something important to talk about. Everyone's hyping NIO, but there are some risks, and I want to address those risks in this video. So now let's talk about a future price target. So a lot of you guys are maybe buying the stock at $47, and you're thinking, well, where can it head to? Well, The number I'm going to use, the metric, is deliveries. So NIO has basically they delivered 12,000 vehicles last quarter. So if we extrapolate that number over a year, that's about 48,000 to 50,000 vehicles a year. So now, hopefully they can continue to increase that trend in towards 2021. So I think a conservative price target for NIO, saying probably by 2021, within the next 1 to 2 quarters, would probably be around $80 to $100. Like I said, that's assuming that these numbers are legit. That's assuming that they're not fabricated. There's no scandals and stuff like that. But you know, the good thing about it is that the founder is already a billionaire. He started this. He's already made a ton of money in China, and he started this company because he saw a huge need for the products. So I think he's more legit than per se the kind of the owners at Luckin Coffee who just wanted to overtake Starbucks and just, you know, launched thousands and thousands of stores and just made a bunch of lies. NIO seems a bit more responsible, but I think $80 is a solid price target. So there's a couple ways you can play this stock. Obviously, you can just buy it and hold. If you can hold probably for a year or two or something like that, you should be able to double or triple your money. Or you can simply buy options. So that's kind of what I've been doing with some of these companies now. Like I said, there is the auditing risk that people aren't really talking about. So for me, I've been buying options contracts. It allows me to profit from these stocks moving up without taking too much risk on my portfolio. And I like to trade options on Robinhood, and then I like to go long my long positions on Fidelity and things like that. So that's just my take, guys. Like I said, realize that NIO is in the right place. China has a lot of potential for growth. It is the largest EV market in the world, so I wouldn't worry if you perhaps bought, like, you know, at the top right here at $53 or something like that. You know, these earnings are pretty strong, and the whole EV sector is kind of moving up gradually. You've got a lot of stocks crushing it, not just NIO. You've got obviously Tesla's up. Lordstown Motors, Ride is up. SBE, that's the charge point, that's up. Basically, most of these stocks, Solo, what I mentioned in a previous video, is up. So a lot of these stocks are crushing it right now. So I would say NIO is a buy, and if you already bought in, just hold on to your shares and add it to your position if you can. So that's my take on NIO, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you guys want me to cover some other EV stocks, you know, just let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to make a video if enough of you guys request it. And if you enjoyed this content and want to hear about more EV stocks that can make you a millionaire in the future. Yeah, guys, so we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. So if you guys subscribe to my content, that really helped me. I'm really excited to get to 10,000 subscribers. A huge milestone for my channel, and thank you guys so much for watching me. And until next time, guys, take care.